皆さんこんにちは。国際教養学部です。今回はオンラインで英会話レッスンが受けられるキャンブリーさんのご提供になります。なので背景を見てもらってわかるように、普段とは一風変わって英会話レッスンを利用しての外国人講師の方へのオンラインインタビューになっております。ちなみにキャンブリーは日本語が話せる外国人講師や日本在住経験のある外国人講師も結構いるみたいです。なので今回はせっかくなので、こちらの日本在住の外国人講師の方に日本に来た理由、日本で生活して良かった点、不便だった点、その他もろもろ聞いていきたいと思います。インタビューお楽しみください。Hello, thank you for your cooperation.
No problem.
What's your name?
My name is Lusu.
Nice to meet you, Usu. Where are you from?
I am from Malawi, a country in the southeast part of Africa.
Are you living in Japan?
Oh, at the moment, I live in Japan.
We are especially living in Japan.
I'm currently living in Kumamoto.
Kumamoto, which is unique choice to live in Japan. So, what brought you to Japan and Kumamoto?
Oh, so I'm currently a student. When I was doing my undergrad, I heard about the Japanese scientist called Shinya Yamanaka, who won a Nobel Prize for his stem cell discovery. That intrigued me to come to Japan. Along with that, growing up, I would see the JICA organization near the area I lived. I was also intrigued by them. And because of that, I think that memory, Japan really stood out to me.
Okay.
And those factors all pushed me in the direction that I am.
You mentioned about JICA. So,
Yeah.
you've seen some Japanese people when you were a child.
Yes.
Okay. And did you communicate with them or you just saw them?
Oh, that's a good point. I did actually. The JICA organization held an event at the hospital because I used to live near the hospital where they wanted to introduce Japan to the locals. And so there was stuff like takoyaki.
Okay.
And learning to write your name in katakana as well. Yes, I did interact with them.
That's interesting that you experienced some Japanese culture in your childhood in Africa.
Yeah.
What was your friends or your family's reaction when you said you were going to study in Japan?
That's a good question. I believe they were very happy. Because my dad had been here before, he was very excited. He was trying to speak some Japanese to me. He was like, "Do you know what this word means? Do you know what this word means?"
Basically, positive reaction, right?
Yes, positive reaction.
Okay. What is good part of living in Japan?
Well, I'm going to say based off of my Kumamoto experience is that here in Kumamoto, I can experience like the mountains, the beach, onsens, and different kinds of food. So that's very nice. I like nature. Hiking and cycling can be done at Mount Aso, for instance. We have amazing onsens such as Kurokawa Onsen, for instance, or some onsens in Amakusa with a beautiful view. Yeah, that's what I like about living in Japan.
Okay.
People are also friendly.
Like, was it first time to try onsen here or other countries you already tried it?
Oh no, it was my first time here.
Okay.
Yeah, and my first time going onsening was with a complete stranger that I met on the road. Yes. I was petting some cats on the street, and this Oba-chan was trying to talk to me in Japanese,
Okay.
and I was barely understanding. And then this Japanese lady came and she spoke English, so she translated. And I asked her where she was going, and she said she was going to the onsen. And then I was like, "Oh, I've never tried." And then she's like, "Oh, let's go onsen together tomorrow." And then we went onsening together.
Okay. Were you shy about like going with a like stranger to onsen?
Yes and no. I have the mentality of like, okay, I'm going to do it, and if I do it, then it's done. So
Okay, mission completed.
exactly. So yeah.
Okay, interesting. You mentioned about food. So I guess there are some food which is weird for foreigners. Did
Okay.
you had some culture shock in terms of food?
Karashirenkon, I think.
Karashirinko. Okay.
It's very spicy. I do not understand. Basashi as well was very weird for me because
Okay.
I've never been on a horse, and I had to course. So it was very interesting. It's very chewy. I'm like, oh wow.
Do you like basashi?
No, not really. No.
Not really. Okay. It is still weird.
Yes, I don't
Okay.
like octopus as well. Is very chewy for me. So most chewy stuff I don't really like.
Okay. So Malawi is not facing ocean. You are not used to eating seafood?
Exactly. So we
Mm,
only have a lake. By the way, it's the ninth largest lake in the world. So it's a pretty big lake.
yeah.
So we do not have seafood, just freshwater fish, for instance.
Okay. Okay. So there are many seafood you tried first time here, right?
Yes. Oh, but I lived in Malaysia, so some seafood
Oh,
I had there as well. Like
okay.
shrimp, squid. Okay, that's about it.
Okay, okay. I asked about a good part of living in Japan. So could you tell me some like inconvenient thing you experienced while you are living in Japan?
Because I live in the countryside,
Yeah.
most of the stuff are in Japanese. So going grocery shopping, for instance, can be very inconvenient as a foreigner because everything is written almost in
Mm,
Japanese.
yeah.
When I'm looking for an item, I do not know which aisle it's in. So even if I've been to the store once or twice before, I still don't remember, like, oh, this is where I can get
Mm-hmm.
cooking. So most of the time, I circle the entire store just to find a particular product. So, and another
Okay.
inconvenient thing is that
Yeah.
as a Black woman, there's not any makeup for my skin tone. So, like in terms of foundation, I
Um,
have to buy from abroad. Oh,
o-
and also shoes. I wear a size 41, a size 26, 27. When I go to like GU or Uniqlo or like
yes.
most shoe stores to find cheap shoes because I'm a broke student. I can't find shoes in my size. And so what I end up doing is I have to buy shoes like from foreign brands that can be.
Okay, I see. And especially in Kumamoto, I think in Tokyo there are a lot of variety
Yeah,
of
yes,
clothing,
yeah,
makeup.
exactly.
Do you still want to live in Kumamoto, or will you choose big city if you have option of living in Tokyo or and so on?
I definitely prefer Kumamoto because things are cheaper here for a student. Renting apartment is cheaper in comparison to like a big city. I have to worry about being around lots of people, for instance. I mean, Kumamoto does have a number of people, but not as crowded as the trains in Tokyo, for instance.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, too much in Tokyo.
Yeah.
You pronounce some Japanese words. Do you speak Japanese?
Oh, I speak very little Japanese. I feel like I'm better at understanding the language
Uh-huh.
than I am at speaking. So most of the time, even though I may know the word, when I speak in Japanese, I always add English, and I think people still understand me.
But you speak Japanese enough that they somehow understand you.
Yeah, like if I'm confident enough to go to the
Hmm,
most inaka place.
no problem.
Yeah, I think I'd be okay.
Okay, nice. Maybe that environment makes you become more fluent in
Yes,
Japan.
yes, for sure. Because here people rarely speak English.
Do you want to live in Japan in the future?
In terms of that question, I am very much unsure because I do not know what career path I want to take after I finish my studies. Based on the career path, that would determine which country I would live in.
Okay, if you can choose wherever you want to live, would you choose Japan? Why you want to live in another country or going back to Malawi?
I think maybe I'd choose to live in a different country.
In general, you would like to live in abroad.
Yes.
Why so?
I think if I were to go back home, I wouldn't be paid sufficiently to be able to realize my dreams of like maybe eventually doing something for my country. And so I believe living abroad and working abroad allows me to earn sufficient money. By earning that money, it helps me help my family, for instance, or I don't know what I'd like to do, but do something for my country.
Would you mind if I ask your dream?
Oh, well, I don't have like a perfectly
Yeah,
outline,
okay.
but like I think I want to help my country in some
Mhm.
way because not a lot of people have access to education and clean water. Like this year, there's like a cholera outbreak in my country, and so it's just and not everyone is fortunate enough, and so I want to do something that can help maybe provide education to certain people, or
Okay,
I don't know. But yeah, that's something I'd like to do. So I
okay.
need money.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah.
great. Great dream. If you are thinking about living in Japan in the
Mhm.
future for some years or decades, what will you worried about living in Japan?
I think maybe not being able to fully express myself
Huh?
because I don't think my Japanese level could ever reach that of a
Mm,
native speaker. And so, because I grew up in a different country, certain things that I do will stay the way I was taught. Some people here might not fully understand that. And because of that, I think that would probably be the biggest challenge to
yeah.
live in Japan, not being able to be 100% yourself in a way.
Okay. Lastly, what do you want to say to people who want to visit Japan or live in Japan?
頑張ってください. Learn Japanese. Choose a place wisely. Choose a place based on which place you think would be most suitable for you. Don't
Mhm.
just go to Tokyo or say, I want to live in Tokyo because everybody's living in Tokyo. So choose for a place where you know you'll be happy and experience the Japan that you want to experience. But if that's Tokyo, then go ahead.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it was interesting to talk with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
いかがだったでしょうか。マラウイの方とお話ししたのは初めてだったのですが、JICA との交流など、マラウイでの日本文化体験の話も聞けてとても興味深かったです。キャンベリーは今回のルス先生に限らず、日本に馴染みのある先生が結構いるみたいです。公式検索画面でこのように検索すると、日本在住経験ありとか、日本語が話せるという講師が出てきます。英会話レッスンに興味があるけど、英語しか話せないネイティブ講師といきなり話すのはちょっと怖いなと思っている方も、困った時は日本語で質問できますし、今日のテーマがまさにそうであるように、日本に関する話題が話せる講師が多かったりと、気軽に会話を楽しみながら英語を学べると思います。概要欄の紹介コード学部英語を使うと、キャンベリーが15分無料で体験できるみたいなので、ご興味のある方はぜひご利用ください。またいつも通り動画のご感想やご要望などたくさんのコメントお待ちしております。チャンネル登録の際は通知ボタンもお忘れなく。